You too, Miss Tone. I'm back with another one for you. And this one today is a continuation of cracking the code. This is for we're getting into the fundamentals, maintaining fiscal integrity. All right, so let's get right into this shit. See what they're talking about. Maintaining fiscal integrity. Functional sovereignty. This treatise constitutes neither the practice of law nor the giving of legal advice, and is for the informational and educational purposes only. You are responsible for yourself and your own actions. If you act on what you do and do not understand and cannot support through knowledge and ability any adverse consequences you may experience are entirely a product of your own doing or omissions. And that's a fact. I highly advise you not to jump into some shit that you don't understand, because you will be tested all the fucking way along the way. All the way you're going to be tested, okay? So, the preamble. And that's why I don't really give anybody fucking answers. I'd rather everybody read and study this shit, because you go through a spiritual change as you go through the process here when you realize who it is that you actually are. And I honestly, I honestly would be selling you short if I was to just let you pay me to give you all the fucking answers. That's why I don't do that shit. And I'll point you in the right fucking direction and let you go find out and let you read it, because it's a whole different experience as opposed to you paying me for a process. And I don't want to cut in, like, I don't want to sell you short, and that's what I would do. So, preamble. For thousands of years, the legal masters of the world have been steadfastly constructing the system by which world commerce and law now operate. They have developed this system by drawing from and utilizing the timeless principles of human interaction that, over the millennia, have been discovered, distilled, and codified. These fundamental common sense principles of commercial law, expressed in these 10 maxims found below, underlie every other form of law in existence. There is no type of legal issue, controversy, dispute, etc., that is not covered, embraced by at least one of these 10 maxims of commercial law. The creators of the system have achieved preeminence by knowing these foundational principles of human interaction and encrypting them into codes for their own aggrandizement. So to try to make themselves feel better, or to make themselves seem bigger, or to capitalize, right? While keeping the uninitiated ignorant of such knowledge and the means for accessing it. The pinnacle of these efforts is the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC. All of world commerce now functions under the UCC. Is uniform across the world here. So so this shit applies everywhere. So all of the world now functions under UCC and is thoroughly entrenched in the UCC. However, even though the UCC has been developed and formulated for accommodating mass exploitation and subjugation, it is but a particular codification of the universal underlying laws of commerce, and most importantly can now be employed for the benefit of the layman now that the code has been substantially cracked. These 10 foundational maxims of commerce, from which all codes, laws, and statutes are derived and based upon, are number one, a workman is worthy of his hire, right? So I charge for my time. Now, mind you, all this information is out there for free. You don't even gotta pay for this shit. So when you start asking me crazy ass questions and 30-page fucking emails and shit for free, you're out of your fucking mind. That shit'll just get blocked. So cut that out. All are equal under the law, both moral and natural law. In commerce, truth is sovereign. Truth is expressed by means of an affidavit. An unrebutted affidavit stands as truth in commerce, and that's a fact. That's why we send our shit in the form of an affidavit, certified or registered mail. That's how you're gonna be sending them. That's how you're gonna get your fucking results. It ain't gonna be and it's gonna be to a binding agent of whatever corporation it may be. It's not gonna be a fucking broad message to whoever. It's gonna be right directly to somebody to hold somebody accountable. That's how you're gonna get your fucking results. Number 6, an unrebutted affidavit becomes the judgment in commerce. A matter must be expressed to be resolved. He who leaves the field of battle first loses by default. 9, sacrifice is the measure of credibility. If one has neither, been damaged nor incurred a risk and is unwilling to swear an affidavit, i.e., true, correct, and complete, the commercial equivalent of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth on his unlimited commercial liability for the veracity of his statements and the legitimacy of his actions, has no credibility and therefore no basis for asserting claims, charges, or claiming authority. And that's what I sent to any of these courthouses and shit like that to them. Like, if you guys are going to be contacting me, it's going to be in the form of a sworn affidavit under the penalty, and you're going to be putting something on the line. You're not going to be out here throwing fucking random claims out here with no fucking liability or skin in the game, and I'm going to be the one with all the liability. You're out of your fucking mind. I'll put my life on the line if you put yours on the line. How about that? What are you going to put on it? Get the fuck out of here. So 10, a lien or claim can be satisfied only through rebuttal by counter affidavit, point for point resolution by jury or payment. So that's the only way you can get a lien taken off, is if the person who put it on takes it off, or if you go to court and you have a affidavit to rebut any of the claims point for point. Okay. Preface: the legal contractual status of virtually every man, woman, and child on the planet has become that of a slave, commercial chattel, property, a hopeless indentured servant in perpetuity. In commercial legal matters, there are only two kinds of people: debtors and creditors. It is all or nothing affair with no middle ground. If you want the power to exercise your innate sovereignty, you must access the agreed upon rules that provide for your recognition as a sovereign creditor. The articles of the UCC, the program outlined herein, is a system of simple contractual procedures providing the foundational steps for regaining control of one's commercial, legal, financial future, and brings forth the notion of functional, if not official, sovereignty. Fundamentals: codified law is precise. It revolves around how words are defined. The rules of all the forms of laws are set forth in writing, words, syntax, grammar, the way words are legally defined. And that's why we're using their own codes against them if they want to get stupid. I know you guys, and you don't have to use the codes. You can use just the verbiage if you choose to try to remain private with your interactions. But it really doesn't matter if it's handing in an affidavit, if you're going to use their codes and their definitions against them, because that's what the fuck that they're using against you. So you should learn that shit. Okay. So this issue is so profound that even known felons and perjurers are accorded instant credibility and take their word if such will ever swear under oath against another. Career criminals, even suspected murderers, are taken for their word and put on the witness stand if it will serve the prosecution. When one swears under oath, one presumably invokes the wrath of God for bearing false witness, a dire transgression for the reciprocal effects of which there are no escape, hence the credibility accorded anyone who swears. For one group's formal attempt, cheating natural law and escaping by such wrath for bearing false witness, disavowing one's sworn oath. Slave: a person who is wholly subject to the will of another and who has no freedom of action, but whose person and services are wholly under the control of another. One who is under the power of a master and who belongs to him, so the master may sell and dispose of this person and his industry and of his labor without being able to do anything, have anything, or acquire anything but what must belong to his master. Chattel: person and immovable property includes slaves, permanently indentured servants, commercial chattel property by virtue of contract, operation of commercial law. Commercial legal: because the people of earth have unwittingly bound themselves into unconscionable private contracts, and because contracts make the law, the terms commercial and legal are essentially interchangeable. Courtrooms are private commercial marketplaces enforcing private corporate policy in the administration of the court's business, separating its customers from the fruits of their labor, as well as dictating over customers' freedoms of action. The word debtor comes from the Latin debit, literally he owes. The word creditor comes from the Latin credit, literally he trusts. Sovereign: one who possesses supreme power over his own right, not under the power of another. Sovereignty: supreme dominion, authority or rule. See sovereignty in glossary. And this is all from Black's Law here. All right. So, see what we got here. The basis of the con. You have been deceived and betrayed and ravaged for your kindness and trust. However, by merely confronting the exact nature of the con, you can be free from it. Life no longer needs to be a dangerous, unpredictable affair. Without taking up historical and legal details of this juncture, which are thoroughly addressed and documented, and in supplementing essays and treatises in this manual, which are mandatory reading for all, for full understanding of what has happened in America as well as in most other countries of the world, suffice it that you have been swindled out of nothing less than valuable than your birthright, your sovereignty, and by insidious lexical artifice, corruption of your name. An ancient maxim of law states, in order rightly to comprehend a thing, inquire first into the names, for a right knowledge of things depend on their names. And that's the thing. So they're corrupting the names, creating a whole nother language, legalese, that looks just like English, but you don't know the difference, right? So you're getting caught up in that. Whereas John Henry Doe, upper lowercase, would signify a true name written in accordance with the rules of English grammar and their prescriptions of law, all caps John Henry Doe, on the other hand, would not. A harmless variant of the original, you might say. A variant of the true name, yes, but the operative term is corruption, and it is anything but harmless. Names of men and names of women and boys and girls appearing in all capital letters, and even abbreviated versions without the initials of true names with initial letters only capitalized, are corporately colored renditions of a true name and do not identify the being associated therewith. Such names represent property, specifically intellectual property, though this fact is overlooked by almost everyone in society but the legal vampires whose existence is predicated on its exploitation. Corporate names. Checking your driver's license, credit card, bank statements, IRS correspondence, traffic tickets, etc., you will discover that government agencies, banks, and other corporations, courts, and tax agencies deal with exclusively through various corrupted versions of your true name, and these four types of organizations ruthlessly insist on dealing with you via in all caps or other corruption of your true name in any and all key documents, contracts, accounts, and agreements with them. The computers are generally formatted for dealing with nothing else. It is interesting that the military, an aspect of government, also designates its personnel exclusively in all cap letters. As you have seen throughout your life, corporations spell their trade names in any format, in any assemblage of letters set in capitals and lowercase, intentionally misspelled with numerals and even arbitrary non-lingual symbols that they wish. Sunoco, Citibank, U-Haul, Office Depot, Honda, Food for Less, Rite Aid, Pharmacy, Kmart, Toys R Us, Hewlett Packard, Ford Day, Tire Stores, Visa, Yamaha, Sears, Compaq, Toys for Tots, State Farm Insurance, Save on Drugs. Construction of these man-made corporate trade names are not restricted by the bounds of English grammar and the prescriptions of law because they are fictional trade names. So that's what it is. So anytime you see the all caps, know that it's a fictional corporation. So look at the name of the courthouse and the court documents that you get, and the shits are in all caps. They're corporations, okay? Of a kind, objects of intellectual property in themselves, and signify a unique artificial person, a legal entity distinct from all others. Even your personal computer spell checker acknowledges this fact. Type in any random set of upper and lowercase letters on your screen and verify spelling, then change all letters into all caps and verify spelling again. No error will be indicated. Names constructed outside the bounds of English grammar and the prescriptions of law are corporately colored trade names. Legally speaking, there is a term that identifies such entities, ens legis, defined as follows. Ens legis, a creature of law, an artificial being, as contrasted with a natural person. Applied to corporations considered as deriving their existence entirely from law. Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, okay? A trade name can also be trademarked, service marked, and copyrighted by the owner of the purpose of restricting others from unauthorized use and unjust enrichment at the expense of the parties that invested in and built up the good name and reputation or goodwill of said trade name in the public mind. Statutory entities must follow statutory laws in such matters. Living, breathing flesh and blood, men and women, on the other hand, need only assert their copyright under common law. So common law copyright is going to be you just basically, I have different versions of that. If you need it, hit me up. And then you're going to publish that in the newspaper for 3 days running. And the newspaper that you publish it with is going to give you a affidavit of publishing, and then you're going to go ahead and use that to notice all of these agencies, and nothing trumps common law. The same way you get your land patent, you're going to go ahead and run your claim in the paper 3 days running. You're going to get your affidavit of publishing, and now you own that motherfucker. Nobody could ever take it from you. Okay, that's how you get it done. If you need anything for the land patent shit, hit me up. If you want some of the common law copyright templates, hit me up. Okay. So for free, mind you. Meet your alter ego. Everything has two inherent aspects: its physical, mental, spiritual manifestation, and the abstract label describing it. This situation is characterized in semantics. Semantics is words and the definitions, as the difference between the territory and the map. The thing and its label, whereas water is tangible and can actually be experienced by the senses, the word water is only a symbol and abstract of the mind that cannot be experienced. One cannot drink the word water. But you know that it makes reference to the water, but it isn't the actual water. It's the same thing with your name. Okay, so the all caps name is not your name. It makes reference to your name, but it is not your name. The mind is capable of imagining unlimited varieties and configurations of abstractions. These include non-tangible concepts and mental constructs such as the people, the nation, corporation, limited liability, trust, and government. All entities and leges. Other legal terms describing fictitious entities are person and artificial persons. Such cannot be seen or touched nor heard. Proper names set in the all cap letters, such as the one seen nor touched, appearing on your driver's license, are trade names and signify artificial persons. Your name in all capital letters is no different from that of any other corporate trade name and signifies a legal entity separate and distinct from you, the living, breathing man and woman. The corporate, banking, taxation, legal, and governmental communities collectively this name, and solely because of this special name, all manners of goods and services are conveyed or transmitted through. Okay, so that's your commercial conduit. For you, benefit by all artificial persons, entities, and leges in the commercial community, such can interface with your strongman all caps trade name. That's the purpose of your all caps, is in order to be able to conduct commerce. So it's your commercial conduit. That's what that's going to be. So that's what so it is a game of chess. Stop playing checkers with these assholes. That's what I got for you for now, until we